Hello and welcome back. Today's video is going to be a pan that palette update for the Bad Habit Artistry palette, which is the dupe for the Anastasia Mario palette. This is not the most exciting update, but I am making some progress. If you are interested, I will link my Project Pan playlist and my Pan That Palette playlist in the description box. I'm doing a lot of other project pans, and in some of my other projects, I am trying to hit pan on eyeshadows and use some other eyeshadow palettes, which is why my progress is definitely slowing down on this palette for sure, but I'm still using it several times a week, and let's just get into this update. First, let me show you what my palette looked like at the end of last month. And as you can see, at that point, I had finished 2 eyeshadows, and the green shade, that is a Franken shadow. I combined that green with a gold eyeshadow, and that one I haven't used in a little while, but I really do like it. But I did have initially had pan on that eyeshadow before I repressed it with another one. And let me just show you where my palette looks like now. Alrighty, so here it is now. I'll show you a more close-up photo. No new changes as far as finishing any eyeshadows, but I have expanded some pans. So mostly what I've done is Pearl. I did use that several times, expanded the pan there. The 2 matte shades, Mona and Tuscany, I have used those quite a bit. The pans have expanded there also. D'Orsay and Klimt, I did use a few times, so the pans expanded a tiny little bit, not a lot, but, and then I did work on Daphne quite a bit. The pan has expanded on this one right here. That is one that I really do want to finish, so it's probably going to be something I focus on next. This whole corner here, I didn't use these 4 shades at all, but I did pretty much experiment with all of these in the last month. I kind of wanted to rotate with some of these different eyeshadows and just kind of see how I feel about them, and then kind of see on maybe one of them that I would want to finish next. I talked about in last month's update that I definitely am not focused on finishing this anymore. For the first half of the year, I really did want to finish this palette, but the last couple months I just kind of realized that's not very realistic and not gonna happen. So that's why my progress has slowed down, because like I said, I'm doing other projects where I'm trying to hit pan on eyeshadows and rotate through my other palettes. And another thing, last month, a lot of you guys did suggest that I use this palette with other palettes, and I have actually been doing that all year. January was the only month that I would do looks just with this palette, and then ever since then, I always combine this with other palettes. So lately I've been using it with Sultry and Soft Glam because there are 2 eyeshadows in there I'm trying to hit pan on in the Roulette Pan collab. And then also I started a new project using my eyeshadow palettes, which is a pure usage project pan. And I was using those 4 palettes also with this one. So I always use this with other palettes. It's not a complete palette for me anyway anymore, because for me, there is not a light enough crease shade for a neutral look that I like to do. There's also no brow bone highlight, so I really can't do a complete look with this palette anyway. But yes, I always combine this with other palettes, and if I wasn't doing that and I would try to do more looks just with this, I definitely would be making more progress. But since I've decided that I'm not so focused on finishing this anymore, I don't really mind. And honestly, I would rather be rotating through my other eyeshadow palettes anyway, just because I don't want to be neglecting my palette collection. I do have quite a few eyeshadow palettes. Let me just tell you kind of my goals for the next update. Hopefully, I think I want to try to finish Daphne. Hopefully I could do that, because this month, like I said, I was kind of using these different ones more. So I think if I focus on Daphne, hopefully I could finish it. I'm going to keep using Mona and Tuscany. I use those in the outer corner all the time, kind of like for an everyday neutral look. So I'm going to keep working on those. I do want to use my Franken shadow a few times. It's so beautiful, and I haven't used it, I don't think, in the last 2 months. And I've really been in the mood for those greenish golds, because I feel like those are very, very fall appropriate greens, which is exactly what this color is, because it was a darker green that I mixed with a gold. So it's a greenish gold now, and I really do like it. So I definitely want to use this one at least a few times, I think, in the upcoming weeks. I will say another thought I had about this palette was I was kind of thinking about it, and This palette was only $12, and I own so many different eyeshadow palettes that I don't know that I want to spend however long it might take to completely finish this, just because then I feel like I really would be neglecting my other eyeshadows. And like I said, I definitely have a lot of eyeshadow palettes, and I have a lot of higher end ones that I really do like. I do like this palette, but I mean, it's definitely not my favorite palette. And I feel like I've already gotten my money's worth because yeah, it was only $12, and I'm just really happy with the progress that I've made. So I definitely plan on continuing to use this for the next few months as I had planned, but I don't know that beyond that I'm gonna try to finish it. We'll see, maybe I'll change my mind, but at this point I don't think that's something I'm going to be pursuing. However, I would love to finish at least maybe 1 or 2 more eyeshadows in here. I really like seeing these empty pans, not gonna lie, so I'd love to see a few more. That would be pretty awesome. And yeah, I'm still enjoying this, and it just, because it's such a neutral palette, it works so well to combine with other palettes. I mean, I can use any of these light shimmers just on the inner corner. I can use these mattes either on the lower lash line or the outer corners. So it's just really easy to combine this with other palettes because it's so neutral, you know, it's not too out there or anything. So it just works very well with other palettes overall. I'm definitely happy with my progress though, expanding the pan, particularly on the 2 matte shades and Pearl and Daphne. And yeah, I definitely want to focus on Daphne coming up here. See how that goes. I would love to finish that. And yeah, I'm happy that I'm making progress, but as I mentioned, I'm focusing a bit more on rotating through my eyeshadow palettes because I have so many, and I have so many that I love that I definitely do not want to be neglecting them. Please let us know, how are your project pans and Pan That palettes doing? I will link my Pan That palette and my project pan playlist down in the description box if you do want to catch up on those videos. That is it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.